Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. The 5 Rand coin of South Africa, particularly the 2006 issue, represents not only the economic history of the nation but also the deeper layers of cultural identity, national pride, and the evolving story of South Africa in the 21st century. To understand the importance of the 2006 5 Rand coin, one must first look at the role of the Rand currency itself, the political and economic context of South Africa during the mid-2000s, the symbolism contained within the design, and the way coins of this denomination became embedded in the daily lives of millions of South Africans. The South African Rand, introduced in 1961 when the country shifted from the South African pound to a decimal-based currency, became a symbol of modernization and national economic sovereignty. Over the decades, the Rand witnessed fluctuations, devaluations, and strength depending on domestic and international forces. By the time the 5 Rand coin was introduced in 1994, the currency had already become a part of everyday conversation, linking citizens with markets, trade, and the broader global economy. The 5 Rand coin itself holds a special place in the currency system of South Africa. Unlike smaller denominations that are often overlooked or discarded, the 5 Rand has consistently carried significant purchasing power, especially during the early years of its issuance. By 2006, the coin had undergone several refinements in its design and security features, making it one of the most recognizable pieces of circulating currency in the country. One of the key reasons behind the redesign and the continued issue of 5 Rand coins in the 2000s was the widespread problem of counterfeiting. During the early 2000s, counterfeit 5 Rand coins flooded the economy, creating uncertainty in transactions and mistrust in small-scale trade. The South African Reserve Bank, in response to this crisis, decided to introduce a more advanced 5 Rand coin in 2004 with improved security features. By 2006, these coins were widely distributed and became the standard bearer of both anti-counterfeiting measures and national symbolism. The 2006 issue of the 5 Rand coin carries the design elements that make it unique and historically significant. On the obverse, it features the South African coat of arms, which had been adopted in 2000. This new coat of arms was more than just a symbol of governance. It reflected the rebirth of South Africa as a democratic nation after the fall of apartheid in 1994. The coat of arms included symbols such as the secretary bird with uplifted wings, which represents protection, and the rising sun, symbolizing a new beginning. The ears of wheat embody fertility, growth, and the development of the people, while the shield carries images drawn from Khoisan rock art, connecting the modern nation to its ancient heritage. The motto inscribed in the Khoisan language of the /XAM people, Ku E Zera K, meaning diverse people unite, emphasizes unity in diversity, which became the defining message of post-apartheid South Africa. On the reverse of the 2006 5 Rand coin, the image of a black wildebeest, or gnu, appears in midstride. The wildebeest, native to the open grasslands of South Africa, is a symbol of resilience, strength, and endurance. It also reflects the natural heritage of the country, linking the currency to the land itself. Surrounding the wildebeest, the denomination 5 Rand is boldly inscribed, affirming both its value and its presence as the highest value coin in circulation. The introduction of the bimetallic structure in the coin further strengthened its distinctiveness. The coin features a nickel brass center with a copper-nickel outer ring, making it both visually attractive and difficult to counterfeit. The serrated edge includes security features such as microlettering that can be detected with magnification. These details ensured that the 2006 5 Rand coin stood as one of the most advanced coins in circulation across Africa at the time. But the coin is more than just metal. It reflects the socio-economic atmosphere of South Africa in 2006. During this period, South Africa was experiencing relative stability after the political transformations of the 1990s. The presidency of Thabo Mbeki brought with it policies aimed at economic growth, investment, and integration into global markets. The country was preparing for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the first ever to be hosted on African soil. This event carried symbolic weight as it was seen as a showcase of African pride and South African progress on a global stage. Coins like the 5 Rand were part of this evolving narrative, being exchanged daily in taxis, markets, shops, and banks, reminding citizens of their shared identity and national progress. The 2006 5 Rand coin also reflects the broader role of coins as carriers of memory and identity. For the ordinary citizen, the coin was a practical tool for everyday transactions. For the numismatist or coin collector, however, the 2006 issue carries layers of meaning, from its security innovations to its artistic details. Collectors often note that while the 2006 coin was a regular circulation issue, it holds interest due to the continued story of anti-counterfeiting innovation and its placement in the timeline of South African coinage. The durability of the bimetallic coin meant that many of the 2006 5 Rand coins remain in circulation today, nearly 2 decades later. Their ability to withstand heavy use in commerce demonstrates the effectiveness of their design and composition. At the same time, coins that survive in higher grades, uncirculated or in mint state, attract attention in numismatic markets, where they may hold premiums beyond their face value. When examining the coin in the context of global coinage, the South African 5 Rand of 2006 stands alongside other bimetallic coins that emerged during the late 20th and early 21st centuries as responses to counterfeiting and the demand for more durable high-denomination coins. Similar to the British £2 coin or the Euro €1 and €2 coins, the 5 Rand reflects both practical innovation and cultural representation. The design of the 2006 5 Rand coin represents an intricate balance between tradition, modernity, and security. Every element from the choice of animals to the inscriptions was carefully selected to convey meaning while maintaining durability and practical use in everyday commerce. The black wildebeest depicted on the reverse of the coin holds particular importance in South African coinage. It was first chosen as the emblematic animal for the 5 Rand coin in 1994, the year South Africa transitioned to democracy. This was not a random choice but a deliberate act to symbolize the qualities of resilience and dynamism that the new South Africa aspired to embody. The wildebeest, known for its migratory endurance and ability to thrive in harsh conditions, mirrored the perseverance of the South African people in their long struggle for freedom and equality. By 2006, this symbolism had deepened, becoming embedded in the public consciousness. Whenever people held the coin in their hands, they were reminded of the nation's ability to endure challenges and keep moving forward. The movement captured in the wildebeest stance is dynamic, showing the animal in full gallop. This was intended to illustrate progress, speed, and forward-looking vision. In art and heraldry, the depiction of an animal in motion is often associated with strength and determination. The wildebeest's image on the coin thus becomes more than just a zoological representation. It is a metaphor for national progress, a reminder that South Africa cannot remain still, but must continue moving toward prosperity and unity. Surrounding this central motif is the clear marking of the denomination, 5 Rand, ensuring that the coin's value is unmistakable. The typography chosen is modern yet simple, allowing for readability even after years of wear. This clarity is crucial in circulating coinage, as everyday users include not only collectors but millions of citizens from diverse backgrounds who depend on quick identification during commerce. On the obverse side, the South African coat of arms is presented with remarkable detail, especially considering the limitations of minting on a small circular canvas. The 2006 issue proudly carries the coat of arms introduced in 2000, which was part of a broader effort by the government to redefine national symbols in the post-apartheid era. The coat of arms on the coin communicates several layers of meaning. The secretary bird, standing tall with wings uplifted. It represents vigilance, protection, and the ability to triumph over challenges. The bird's position on the coat of arms highlights the idea of rising above adversity and guiding the nation toward freedom. The rising sun positioned above the bird. The sun symbolizes the dawn of a new era, illuminating the path of democracy and hope for a brighter future. Ears of wheat, these flank the shield and emphasize fertility, agricultural heritage, and the nourishment of the people, connecting the economy to the land. The shield and spear, traditional symbols of defense and heritage. They embody the cultural roots of South Africa, linking modern governance to ancient traditions. Khoisan rock art figure central to the shield. It acknowledges the earliest inhabitants of South Africa, recognizing that the nation's identity stretches back thousands of years. This inclusion is a deliberate act of honoring indigenous heritage that had been marginalized in earlier state symbols. The motto, written in the Khoisan/XAM language, Ku E Zera K, conveys the principle of unity in diversity. By placing this motto on the national emblem and, by extension, on the currency, the government reinforced the idea that South Africans of all backgrounds are united in a shared destiny. The technical details of the coin are equally significant. The bimetallic construction, with a copper-nickel ring and a nickel-brass center, serves both aesthetic and security purposes. The contrasting colors and metallic properties make it difficult to counterfeit, while also giving the coin a distinctive appearance that sets it apart from lower denominations. The reeded and inscribed edge further deters counterfeiters, as replicating these fine details requires specialized minting technology. In circulation, the 2006 5 Rand coin played a vital role in daily commerce. Its value placed it at the top of the coinage hierarchy, just below banknotes. In practical terms, it was often used in taxi fares, small purchases, and as change in retail transactions. For many South Africans, the 5 Rand coin carried an emotional weight as well. It was not simply a unit of exchange but a trusted and familiar object, passed hand to hand in millions of interactions each day. The economic context of South Africa in 2006 shaped the way the 5 Rand coin was used and perceived. At this time, inflation was relatively moderate compared to the crises of the 1980s and early 2000s. The coin maintained strong purchasing power, being equivalent to several loaves of bread, a ride in a minibus taxi, or small items at local markets. Because of its practical utility, it was among the most widely circulated coins in the nation. From a numismatic perspective, the 2006 5 Rand coin occupies a special place. Although it was not a commemorative issue, its design, composition, and role in counterfeiting prevention make it a subject of interest for collectors. Coins preserved in uncirculated or mint condition are especially sought after, as circulation quickly introduces scratches, wear, and discoloration due to the bimetallic structure. The outer ring and inner core often age differently, giving circulated coins a two-tone patina that collectors sometimes find appealing, while others prefer the pristine brilliance of mint-state pieces. The rarity of the coin does not lie in its mintage numbers, as millions were produced for circulation, but in the condition and specific varieties that may exist. Numismatists carefully examine die variations, minting errors, and edge lettering to identify rare examples. A misaligned die, double strike, or off-center strike in a 2006 5 Rand coin could fetch premiums far beyond face value in collector markets. In this sense, even an ordinary coin can become a treasure under the right conditions. The cultural value of the 2006 coin also lies in its connection to national milestones. This was the period when South Africa was positioning itself on the global stage, preparing for the 2010 FIFA World Cup and strengthening diplomatic and trade ties. Currency, being one of the most visible symbols of sovereignty, played a subtle but important role in reinforcing confidence both domestically and internationally. The 5 Rand coin, with its modern security features and rich symbolism, became an ambassador of South African identity in the pockets of its citizens. The 1 Rand coin of South Africa from 1993 represents a critical moment in the nation's history, capturing not only the economic reality of the early 1990s, but also the cultural and political transformations that were reshaping the country. To understand the depth of this coin's meaning, one must explore the history of the Rand as a currency, the symbolic imagery used on the coin, and the broader context of South Africa in 1993, a year that stood at the threshold of monumental change. The Rand currency was first introduced in 1961 when South Africa became a republic, replacing the South African pound. This marked a transition into a decimal system, aligning the nation with international standards and signaling an era of modernization. Over the decades, the Rand experienced significant fluctuations, tied closely to both domestic political developments and international economic pressures. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Rand had weakened substantially due to sanctions, capital flight, and the uncertainty surrounding the end of apartheid. Within this broader monetary framework, the 1 Rand coin occupied an important position. Initially, the Rand was introduced as a banknote denomination, but by the 1970s, coins began to replace notes for the lower rand values, primarily to increase durability and reduce costs. By 1993, the 1 rand coin was a familiar part of daily commerce, widely recognized across the nation and used in countless everyday transactions. The year 1993 was no ordinary year in South Africa. It was the final full year before the nation's historic democratic elections of 1994, which brought Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress to power. The political negotiations of the early 1990s had created an atmosphere of both uncertainty and hope. International sanctions were being lifted, the economy was slowly opening again to global markets, and the symbolic transformation of the country was underway. Every institution, from government to sport, from education to national symbols, was in the process of redefinition. Currency was no exception. The 1 rand coin minted in 1993 still bore the imagery of the older South African identity, but it was on the verge of change. The obverse featured the coat of arms of South Africa, a design that had been used since 1910 when the Union of South Africa was established. This emblem included symbols representing European colonial heritage and the 4 provinces of the Union: Cape Colony, Natal, Transvaal, and Orange Free State. At the time, this coat of arms was already viewed as outdated, as it did not reflect the full diversity or indigenous heritage of South Africa. Nonetheless, in 1993 it still appeared on official currency, making coins of this year historically significant as some of the last to bear the old emblem before the adoption of a new national coat of arms in 2000. On the reverse of the 1993 1 rand coin, the springbok antelope is depicted, a design that has become one of the most enduring motifs in South African coinage. The springbok, a graceful and swift animal native to southern Africa, is a national symbol of both the natural beauty of the land and the resilience of its people. The image of the springbok has long been associated with South Africa's identity, appearing not only on coins but also on sporting emblems, stamps, and national insignia. Its presence on the 1 rand coin reinforced continuity, reminding citizens of their shared natural heritage, even as the nation moved toward political transformation. The 1993 issue of the 1 rand coin was struck in nickel, part of the long-standing transition from silver-based coins to more durable base metal coinage. Earlier rand coins of higher denominations had been produced in silver, but by the 1990s cost efficiency and the declining value of the rand necessitated the use of less expensive materials. The nickel composition ensured that the coins could withstand circulation while also being affordable to produce. From a technical standpoint, the coin carried specifications that made it easily distinguishable. It had a diameter of approximately 21 millimeters and a weight of around 3.5 grams. Its milled edge, along with the detailed engraving of the springbok and coat of arms, made it practical for both recognition and security against simple counterfeiting methods of the era. While not as advanced in security features as later bimetallic coins, the 1993 1 rand coin was nonetheless robust in its production quality. The significance of the 1993 issue extends beyond its metal and design. It was minted during a time when the South African mint itself was undergoing transformation. The institution, long tied to the state, was beginning to align with new expectations of transparency, modern production, and readiness for the global integration of the South African economy. The coins produced during this period are thus more than currency. They are artifacts of transition. For ordinary South Africans, the 1 rand coin in 1993 had considerable purchasing power. At the time, 1 rand could buy small household goods, basic groceries, or pay for services such as bus fares or snacks from local vendors. The coin was a daily companion in transactions, carried in wallets, purses, and pockets by millions of people. Its practical value made it deeply embedded in the rhythms of everyday life, even as the country itself was moving through extraordinary political shifts. The design of the 1993 1 rand coin carries layers of meaning that extend well beyond its metallic surface. Every detail, from the placement of the springbok to the use of the traditional coat of arms, tells a story of identity, continuity, and historical tension. The reverse of the coin, featuring the springbok antelope, stands as one of the most iconic images in South African coinage. The springbok had been used on South African currency for decades, first appearing on the gold Krugerrand in 1967 and later being adopted on circulating coins. The 1 rand denomination in particular became strongly associated with this national symbol. The springbok's posture is dynamic, captured mid-stride with its legs outstretched in motion. This artistic choice highlights speed, agility, and natural grace. In the wild, springboks are known for their leaping behavior, a movement called pronking, which represents vitality and resilience. In the context of a coin design, this imagery becomes a metaphor for progress, adaptability, and energy. For a nation like South Africa, standing on the threshold of democratic transition in 1993, the symbolism could not have been more appropriate, even if unintended by the original engravers. Surrounding the image is the denomination 1 rand, engraved in bold, modern lettering. The choice of simple, capitalized typography reflects functionality and clarity, ensuring that the value of the coin was instantly recognizable. Unlike ornamental designs of earlier decades, the typography of the 1993 issue prioritizes readability in circulation, a reflection of the practical needs of modern commerce. The obverse side of the coin in 1993 retained the old South African coat of arms, a design dating back to 1910. This emblem, used throughout much of the 20th century, contained elements that represented the 4 provinces of the Union of South Africa. It featured a shield divided into 4 quadrants. An orange tree, symbolizing the Orange Free State and its agricultural foundation. A wagon, representing the Great Trek and the pioneering heritage of the Voortrekkers, linked to the Transvaal region. A wildebeest, symbolizing the province of Natal, reflecting the fauna of the area. A figure of a woman with an anchor, representing the Cape Colony, with the anchor serving as a symbol of hope. Above the shield stood a lion holding 4 bound rods, representing unity. Below, a motto written in Latin, ex unitate vires, meaning, from unity, strength, sought to communicate national cohesion. Yet, in practice, the emblem reflected a narrow and colonial European view of identity, excluding the rich diversity of South Africa's indigenous cultures. By 1993, this coat of arms was increasingly seen as outdated, but its continued use on the coin is significant. It demonstrates how, at the moment of political transition, older symbols still dominated official representations of the state. Only later, in 2000, would South Africa adopt a new coat of arms aligned with democratic values and inclusive heritage. For numismatists and historians, this makes the 1993 coin especially meaningful. It represents the end of an era in South African symbolism, bridging the old order and the new. In terms of technical design, the 1 rand coin was struck in nickel, a durable base metal suited to high-volume circulation. With a diameter of approximately 21 millimeters and a weight of about 3.5 grams, it was easy to carry and practical in everyday use. The milled edge added texture and improved tactile recognition, a small but important feature for people quickly distinguishing between coins of different denominations. The circulation role of the coin in 1993 was significant. At that time, 1 rand carried meaningful purchasing power, far more than it does today due to decades of inflation. A single rand could buy a loaf of bread, a bus ride, or basic groceries at a corner shop. In rural areas, it could pay for small services or serve as change in informal markets. Because of this practical utility, the coin was not simply a token of value, it was a trusted companion in the economic life of ordinary citizens. This everyday role gave the coin a unique position in the social fabric of 1993 South Africa. The same coin could pass through the hands of wealthy businesspeople in cities and rural farmers in villages, taxi drivers in townships, and students at universities. In this way, the 1 rand coin became a democratic object long before political democracy was officially instituted. It circulated freely, crossing boundaries of class, race, and geography, silently uniting a divided nation through commerce. The historical context amplifies the significance of this coin. 1993 was the year in which Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts to dismantle apartheid and establish a framework for democracy. It was also the year that constitutional negotiations reached their decisive stages, setting the groundwork for the 1994 elections. Against this backdrop, the 1 Rand coin of 1993 serves as a material reminder of the nation in waiting, a South Africa poised between past and future. For collectors and historians today, the coin represents more than face value. It embodies the last moments of an old political order, preserved in metal. Unlike commemorative coins that explicitly mark milestones, the 1993 1 Rand is subtle. Its significance lies not in what was added, but in what had not yet changed. This makes it a powerful symbol of transition, a silent witness to history carried unknowingly in the pockets of millions.